Up until a couple of years ago, only a select few nature enthusiasts knew about Tophill Low Nature Reserve near Driffield. But following significant investment by Yorkshire Water, who own the reserve, not to mention the endorsement of a handful of prestigious conservation and wildlife awards, Tophill Low is now rapidly gaining a reputation as one of the best wetland locations in the UK to see a huge array of wildlife. I went there to see what all the fuss is about. Good to meet you, Jeff.
Hi, Matt.
So tell me a little bit about the history of Tophill Low.
Well, the treatment works has been built on the site of an old farm back in the 1950s, adjacent to the River Hull.
And tell me about the investment Yorkshire Water's made into Tophill Low recently.
Well, we've spent about £70,000 investing in the site because it's important for passage waders. That's birds that are flying into here, feeding up and moving on to migration grounds.
And what sort of things have we actually done here?
Well, we've remodelled mudflats, so there's plenty of food. We've built new hides and footpaths so people can see the birds that are really important in this location.
You don't look too muddy yourself. Who's actually been doing all the work?
Well, that's our colleague Richard Hampshire, the warden for the site. He's been leading the projects.
I'll go and meet him. Hi there, Richard. Great to meet you.
Good to meet you.
I hear you're the man behind all the improvements at the reserve.
That's right, yeah, I'm actually the reserve warden here, so I'm responsible for the day-to-day running of the site here and also focusing some of the investment that we've seen from Yorkshire Water in recent years and trying to put that towards the wildlife for maximum benefit on site.
Okay, so tell me, what's the significance of this location here?
Well, the hide we're in at the moment overlooks what's called South Marsh East at the reserve, which is perhaps our most important habitat on site. It's where we have most of our breeding birds. It was originally an area of clay extraction, which was used to bolster the flood defences on the River Hull back in 1991. And over the years, it has seen great success with wildlife.
So what have some of the benefits actually been?
Well, out there you can maybe hear our noisy black-headed gull colony. In amongst those, we've managed to successfully establish a colony of common terns in recent years. 4 years ago we had no birds, and last year we successfully had 3 pairs which raised 9 chicks. Those 3 pairs have again returned this year, and hopefully the chicks from last year will return from the west coast of Africa next season, and we'll have a really booming colony out there.
Fantastic. And I hear it's particularly busy here over the winter months.
That's right. As the year goes on, we get quite a strong wader passage in the autumn. We get a lot of waders on their return from their breeding grounds in the Arctic tundra, passing through, stopping off to feed here on migration. And also on the reservoirs themselves, that we should designate it as triple SIs back in 1988, due to the huge numbers of wildfowl, namely tufted ducks and the like, which utilise those reservoirs.
So I can hear quite a bit of noise coming from out there. What can we actually see?
Yeah, the noisiest birds are the black-headed gulls, which you can make out on the gravel islands there. In amongst those scattered are the common terns, which are very aggressive to anything which comes on the marsh. We have marsh harriers which occasionally come over and will try to steal an unattended chick, so they'll actively try and see off any predators which may come on the marsh. We've also got a pair of oyster catchers with young as well, which have managed to raise a pair of chicks in the last few weeks and are doing very well at the moment.
Fantastic. I'm keen to see some of the other key sites around Tophill Low. Would you be able to show me?
I certainly can if you'd like to follow me.
Let's go. Okay, Richard, so why have you brought us here?
Yeah, the area here you can see behind me is some of the hay meadows at the reserve. We manage these areas specifically to benefit the many wildflower species we've got on the site, principally by using a cut and collect every September. All the arisings we put onto these habitat piles you can see behind us. The habitat piles are perfect breeding habitat for grass snakes, which are really thriving here at the reserve.
Okay, and can you tell me a bit about the ponds?
Yeah, the ponds that you can see around site, some half a dozen or more that we've got on site here, all man-made. The real species that benefit from these ponds are the dragonfly and damselfly species, and also great crested newts, which in the last survey we had over 3,000 recorded on site here.
Blimey. And is it you yourself that's actually dug all these ponds?
No, they're usually done with contractors and service partners, but the volunteer groups that we have here have a real impact on the day-to-day maintenance and management of these sites. Indeed, and the reed beds behind us, we spent a lot of work last winter removing invasive willow from those. Volunteers play a huge part in general on the reserve, and indeed it was them which was the cause for the establishment of the reserve many years ago. There's a whole different variety of tasks they undertake, including nest boxes, supervision of the site on a weekend, and looking after habitat work.
Okay, sounds great. Shall we move on?
Yeah, let's go.
So Richard, we're here at the site of Yorkshire Water's latest edition. Can you tell me a bit about the development of this hide and why it's so special?
Yeah, this particular hide, we took opportunity at the end of the last financial period to invest in a new structure. The original hide on this location was starting to rot, so we took the opportunity to build something really state-of-the-art. So we've got soundproof floors, glazed windows to really enhance the viewing experience for people. We took opportunity to build on the population of otters on the River Hull and install a new artificial otter halt just near to here. So we hope in future people may stand a chance of seeing the otters from this hide.
And apart from otters, what else can people see here?
We've also got a thriving population of water voles, just old reed beds around us. Not to mention all your reed bed specialist birds, things like reed buntings, reed warblers, and even the occasional bittern.
Okay, so we've heard all about your current investment. Is there anywhere we can go to hear about what you've got planned for the future?
Yeah, if you'd like to follow me, I'll show you.
So Richard, you brought us to quite a windswept location here at Tophill Low. Tell me what's so significant about this particular site?
Well, I've already taken you around quite a few habitats where we've already put some significant investment into the site to try and maximise the wildlife potential of different areas. The woodland you see behind us is just one of the sites where we're constantly looking to see how we can make things better, and in this case we feel that maybe it would be better as a wetland site, being very wet boggy ground there, so we can try and promote waders, wildfowl and the like to use this site instead. It's just one of many sites in the whole reserve that we're trying to improve.
So what exactly will you be doing back there?
Well, we're looking at potentially taking the trees down out of this habitat and landscaping it all, flooding the area in winter to promote it as wet, muddy habitat again for waders to breed and then feed on throughout the year.
So there you have it. I've only been on site for a short while, and already it's very easy to see just how successful the reserve is rapidly becoming, securing its reputation as one of the best wetland habitats in the UK. And the good news is there's more to come too. For more information on Yorkshire Water's walks and recreational activities, visit www.yorkshirewater.com/recreation.